Hi everyone! On today's video, I wanted to experiment a bit with watercolor embroidery. Eileen made an amazing course about it, and the only time I used the technique actually was for architectural embroidery. So I needed a model, and my favorite model is my wife, obviously. I went through all the pictures I took of her before, and I started to sketch some ideas in advance. And then once I was happy, with one of my sketch, I simply drew directly on the fabric using a fine ballpoint pen. The brand is Muji. You can find the link in the description. It's really good because it makes good lines, quite fine, and that's what you want because you don't want to see it while you embroider, and it doesn't smear out when you stitch. Also, it's really great when you start watercolors because as you will use water and painting, you want something that will stay still, and this pen actually is doing great. My goal for this portrait is to stay abstract and work with colors. I can't really tell you why I choose these exact colors at this exact point. It's just a feeling that feels right for me, and this type of color work will depend really only on you. I just made sure to apply the complementary colors because I want that the eye find an harmony in the color composition of the lines and the painting. Once this is done, I'm letting the watercolor drying, and then you're actually good for stitching. So make sure of one thing at first is, depending on the effect you want to do, you have to use more or less painting and more or less water. The more water you will use, the more painting will spread while drying. So make sure to be really careful about this. And if you're not sure about it, feel free to go to one of the course called Watercolor Embroidery, like I said at the beginning, and you will know everything about it. And also, if you want a bit more knowledge about learning complementary colors, tones, etc., you should definitely join Charles & Eileen Academy membership and watch the course on creating your own design. For stitching, I chose a gradient panel of colors, so it goes from yellow to blue and also match the painting, so it includes purples, orange, red, etc. And the line work is actually pretty simple. I mix lines, so one strand, two strands, depending on what I want. For the two strands, I will use split stitch, and for one strand, I will use a back stitch because I really don't advise to split a thread of one strand. It will break the thread more than anything. The selection of your stitch depends on the effects of the lines you want. So for example, in this piece, I wanted to make a style that is like a pen marker. So I used the split stitch because it was the closer resemblance for it. It makes it like more smooth curves. If I wanted to make something more fine for more detail with my embroidery, like a ballpoint pen for example, I would use only back stitch with one strand. So that's it for today, for this piece. I hope you enjoyed this piece. You will be able in January to see this portrait in details with commentary that I will do in live, with other portraits also, because it will be several portraits in the course that I'm working on, and it's called Embroidery Portraits. So I will cover basically the different ways you can embroider portraits with different stitches, of course with French knot, for example, the same way as you just saw today, and other possibilities. All this is in our membership, so you can already find more than 12 courses if you want to wait for the new course and still go through some content. It's a great way for you to have a creative habit, and also it's if you like our work and you want to support us and support our small business, it's a great action to do. So I wish you a creative journey, and I see you in the next video.